What's up guys, so as we all know, this November 21st, 2014 brings with it the new additions to the 3DS Pokemon franchise, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. And so far we've had some pretty decent reveals about the game, stuff making a return like secret bases, some of your favorite gym leaders, and even Team Aqua and Team Magma. But you know, I think what we're all waiting and holding our breath to see is the Mega Evolutions. Now so far we have had some light shed on this situation in the form of Mega Sceptile, Mega Swampert, Mega Metagross, and last but not least Mega Sableye, as well as the two primal forms of Groudon and Kyogre if you want to count those as Megas. But as for the rest, we're going to be taking a look at some of the Hoenn region Pokemon that are probably going to get a Mega Evolution in this game, and then some. So, who's next? Well, we're going to take a look at some of the Pokemon who seem like prime candidates of having their very own Mega Evolution in the upcoming games this fall. But first, let's address some facts from the Mega Evolutions we already have. So with the coming of Pokemon X and Y in the 6th generation, we got a grand total of 28 Mega Evolutions to start things off with. You know them all by now: Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Gengar, and the whole gang. But to really get a better idea of what Game Freak is planning to throw at us with the upcoming Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, let's break these numbers down even further. So of the 28 Mega Evolutions we presently have, 11 of those come from the Kanto region. That's about 40%. I think it's safe to say the Game Freak was trying to pay homage to the Gen 1 trainers. Being a Gen 1 trainer myself, much appreciated, Game Freak, much appreciated. Now moving on to the Johto region from games like Gold and Silver, only 5 of the 28 Mega Evolutions we have come from that region. And for those of you who are interested in numbers, that's about only 17%. Now if you think that's a small amount, let's move on to the Sinnoh region, where we only got 3 Mega Evolutions out of our current 28. Again, that's only about 10%. But that's not the smallest, because the Unova region did not get anything yet. So, exactly how many of our current Mega Evolutions came from the Hoenn region? Well, see if you can think about them all in the next 5 seconds I give you. Ready? About 8 of the 28 Mega Evolutions we currently have came from the Hoenn regions. That's almost 30%. So just as a quick refresher, we got Mega Gardevoir, Mega Mile, Mega Bayonet, Mega Manectric, something Team Aqua might use, Mega Aggron, something Team Magma probably will use, Mega Medicham, Mega Absol, and of course Mega Blaziken. So if you ask me, those are quite a few of the key players from the Hoenn region, but who exactly is left that could take the cake as a Mega? Let's kick things off with this sombrero-wearing fool, Ludicolo. Now if this guy was to get a Mega, I'm sure a couple of players would lose a few brain cells after banging their heads against the wall trying to figure out how to get past it. It's famous for special defense and attack, and as well as its ability Rain Dish. What ability will it get as a Mega? We can only speculate. But one thing's for sure, this is probably a fan favorite of the Hoenn region, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does get a Mega. So, number 2 is another dual grass type in the form of Breloom. This guy, unlike Ludicolo, is more of an offensive dude here. Sporting just about as much attack as Machamp, it's kinda scary to think about what this thing can do if it does get a Mega form. But that type is gonna have to change, because that 4 times weakness to flying is gonna make Talonflame one happy camper. Number 3 is one of my personal favorites from the Hoenn region, Sharpedo. Now with the return of Team Aqua and Team Magma, I don't think it should be a surprise that Sharpedo should be a likely candidate for a Mega form. Its role in today's game is more of a glass cannon, similar to Hydreigon, but it does get its hidden ability in Speed Boost. If this thing gets a Mega form that gets a little bit bulkier and can capitalize off that Speed Boost ability from its normal form, then this thing's gonna be deadly. Let's just hope it finds the other half of his body. If Team Aqua gets one, then I guess Team Magma has to get a shot too. So next up is Camerupt. This guy again is still an offensive kind of Pokemon, and with his fire ground typing, it's not exactly the best out there. If this does get a Mega form, I can't really see it getting bulkier either, because that usually comes at the cost of speed, and having only base 40 speed, I can't imagine Game Freak lowering the speed any lower than that. What they could do to help this thing out though is give it some more HP and give it some monstrously special attack and attack. Next up, we got the fat man himself, Slacking. Now this guy's base stats are certainly nothing to joke about. At a total of 670, why the heck isn't this thing dominating the game? Well, it's because of its ability Truant. If this thing was getting a Mega and it gets rid of that ability, just think how freaking devastating it would be. Surely if it did get a Mega, its stats would have to be nerfed somewhat because, let's be honest here, how can you get even more better than that? Now we got the pseudo-legendary himself, Salamence. I'm almost willing to bet that this guy's gonna get a Mega for sure. You know, for the monster that he is, he's lacking a bit in the defense department, but that could be helped if his Mega form gets rid of his flying typing. Now, in terms of making him look cooler without screwing him up totally, that's up to you guys, Game Freak. And since we mentioned his counterpart Salamence, we gotta mention Flygon too. This thing is probably one of the most deserving out of all the Hoenn region Pokemon. Not because it's a fan favorite, hey, you might like it, I like it too, but because it's seriously in need of some stat boost. Being a ground dragon, it's kinda unique among all its other dragon counterparts. However, did you know that Flygon's attack stat is the exact same as Trapinch's? Yeah, that's right. Its fully evolved form can do no more physical harm to you than its non-evolved form. In addition to that, all of Flygon's other stats only went up by 30 from Vibrava. So, yeah, Flygon, see you on the Mega Evolution side. Alright, so next up is another potential Team Aqua favorite. We got Walrein. Now Walrein packs some decent bulk, and it's got a pretty good HP, and it does share a commonality with Dugong in the sense of its water-ice typing. Now if this thing were to get a Mega Evolution, I could see it being an ice version of Mega Venusaur, something that's really bulky and can dish out some damage. That would be really interesting considering that ice types are kind of a struggle to use in the game right now. So we got Mega Gyarados, it only makes sense that we probably would see a Mega Milotic. This thing has monstrous special defense at base 125, and its base 100 special attack doesn't hurt either, with base 95 HP. For its Mega form, I can see this thing getting boosted in all those aforementioned stats, as well as obtaining a fairy typing, just cause, you know, it kinda looks fairy-ish. So there's always bound to be a Mega Pokemon that no one really wanted to use, no one really cared to see. And if they do put one of those in this generation, I think it's gonna be Altaria. With Mega Ampharos already on the fluffy Mega scene, I don't really see the need to have this thing. We're already getting a crap ton of Dragon Megas, so why have another? Nonetheless, I'm sure Game Freak will find a way to include this somehow. Next up, we got Shiftry. I always found this guy kind of interesting. Again, same kind of thing with Toxicroak in the sense that, you know, he's kind of meh. Decent all around. He's got room to work with, but I think if Game Freak were to include a Mega Shiftry, I think you could see a lot of use in competitive play. We're almost rounding off, but next up is Crawdaunt. This thing has seen a spike in competitive play, not only because of its ability and adaptability, but because of its ability to access moves like Crab Hammer, Knock Off, Swords Dance, and Dragon Dance. I definitely think that if Crawdaunt gets a Mega Evolution, it'll be something to watch out for. Lastly, we come to the last two from the Hoenn region. So, we already have Pinsir and Scyther, but what about this generation's opposite pairing? That's right, none other than Seviper and Zangoose. Now, Seviper's just a horrible Pokemon. It could really use some help from a Mega Stone, but for some reason I'm feeling like it's gonna be a stretch for Game Freak to do this. Now, on the other hand, Zangoose would really be pretty freaking interesting. A Mega Normal with big ass claws and big damage. So that pretty much wraps up the Hoenn Pokemon. But you know, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that we'll get a decent number of Pokemon from other regions too. For example, Machamp, Steelix, Mamoswine. I could see a Mega Scolipede, Haxorus, Staraptor, even a Hydreigon. And you know what? It would even be cool to see something done with the Hitmon family. Mega Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Hitmontop. Choose between one of the three. That'd be cool. So guys, those are my thoughts on potential upcoming Megas in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Make sure you guys tune in next time to see my top 10 picks of Pokemon from other regions excluding Hoenn that should be in the upcoming Pokemon games. Alright guys, as always, see you next time. Peace.